Yeah, so right when you see the word immersion, you know it's ethnography, right? So that article of Justice in the Grave, the role of the dead in post-conflict Uganda, it took me a bit to say that because it sounds like a horror movie, is ethnography. That's the example. And all you really had to do is read the abstract. But if you are interested in that kind of stuff, or like African politics, etc., you can really dive deep into it. In experiment and control groups, which are the following are the independent variables. Now, if you chose Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's somewhat incorrect. It's the experiment group. They get the independent variable, and the control group doesn't. So you're basically comparing those two groups. So like if you took the COVID vaccine, you'd have a big group of people. One group gets the COVID vaccine, another group doesn't. The one that doesn't is the control group. The one that does is the experiment group. And you kind of then come back to see if there's any kind of difference in, say, getting the COVID or the extent to which you suffer from COVID symptoms. So the group that gets, say, the COVID vaccination is less likely, measured statistically speaking, to get or contract COVID than, say, the control group. That's what you're looking at. And we do it a lot. And we're going to see actually something different in the last week with commercials from campaigns. It's pretty cool. Experiments are important for understanding the human behavior. In the prison experiment, which of the following is the independent variable? This is such an interesting study because it's so cruel, but it's the role of the people. So the independent variable is the role itself, like I talked about in the lecture. So like you become the guard or you become the prisoner. It's kind of like the role is the variable. Then you have two attributes, parts of it. You have, the guard and the prisoner. Now, it's not Philip Zimbardo, although he is what might be called a confounding variable because of that. Now, it's not all the students, right? It's basically the role. And it's not the behavior that would be the dependent variable. Understanding how people live is pivotal for research. The on-ground lectures is basically ethnography. Again, you're kind of immersing yourself in this certain thing. This is important because although I butchered his name, I call him like Limbardo. I think that was like I don't know, some coach or something. But this guy really interfered. It showed later on in the study. I think it's important to talk about this, the ethical aspects, because, we like to think the professors are objective or whatever. No, they're very biased. They want a certain result. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, that result can get you published and get you famous, and then you get more money, etc. If you took my class, I teach it actually in class, the statistics, we talk a lot about that. You think statistics are just statistics, right? That is a fact. It's not. A lot of people kind of, I don't want to say change the statistics around, but you can glean statistics in a way that you get a significance. So that becomes problematic. And I think a lot of researchers look for certain, or try to get, even though you're supposed to just let the data fall, try to get a certain result. And that's what I think Zimbardo wanted. Now, the Stanford prison experiment is now a famous study. It was initiated according to the first. So all of these, designed for prison reform, learning about how people blindly follow orders. I talked about Adolf Eichmann, the Eichmann case, how people, the banality of evil, become evil, as in the case of Adolf Eichmann. Even if they if they even do, right, that has become evil in these cases. So that is it for this quiz. You have a lot of points here, so don't fret. There's going to be a lot of points in the class. It's not always easy work, this stuff, or easy to understand. It is a little dense sometimes, and particularly in an online class that moves a little faster than the in-class courses. But we'll be doing a lot more, and we'll have a couple more of these quizzes. We'll have a final exam. You get a final paper. A lot more points to be seen. So take care, everyone.